Hi, welcome to Paint and Draw Together channel. My name is Lela, and today I would like to talk about sketchbooks. In particular, how to overcome a fear of a new sketchbook. A fear that your sketchbook is too precious and your art is not good enough to be in your sketchbook. And if you create it in that precious sketchbook, it will be there forever, so that all your friends, neighbors, children and grandchildren and everybody else looking at it will be able to judge you and criticize and expose how bad your art was at that time. So I have 3 tips for you how to deal with it. And that's how I deal with it. And that's what I would like to share with you. The first is I create small art. And when I say small, they are really small. For example, I like to create those ACO size paintings, which are 2.5 by 3.5 inches. So if I feel like creating something and I really don't want to make it perfect or the best I can, because it's relaxing, it is nice to do while I have coffee or tea, and it doesn't take too much time, then I play with it. The paper is 100% cotton, so I don't want to create on something which is not the best and greatest, because it doesn't really cost much just because it is very small. So that is one of the options. The second tip I have for you how to deal with it is to have multiple sketchbooks. So I figured out if I am traveling, then I would like to have very small sketchbook which I can put in my bag, doesn't bring too many grams, too much heaviness to my travel bag, and it serves the purpose. And something like this, 3.5 by 5.5 inch, works perfectly for me. In this case, for example, this is my travel sketchbook. If I travel, then I bring this with me. For example, this was the best coffee I ever tasted in my life in Amsterdam, in a hotel which is called like this, and it is really, even today, the best coffee I tasted, and I really remember it. Or when I was wandering along the streets of Amsterdam, along the channel, or their perfectly ordered, colorful houses, I felt like sketching that and remembering that. Or snow in Belgrade, or visiting Rembrandt's house and then sketching what were actually Rembrandt's sketches at that time. All kinds of work which he was making, and I was just reproducing them. Or my last trip by plane, where I was waiting in New York, and there was a plane which was loading and unloading the luggage, and I felt like sketching it, and that's it. When I travel next time, I'll take this sketchbook with me just so I can remember what happened at that time. This would be another sketchbook. So this one has its own purpose as well. This sketchbook has purpose to go with me whenever I have enough time to compose from life in various gardens which I visit. And I figured out that my camera, or any camera I have, actually does distortion. And depending on the angle, it can create completely different perspective. But if I look at the subject and I sketch it, then I can have exact beautiful proportion of the objects, and I can pick and choose the angle and components. So this is sketchbook for that. Not everything gets finished, but at least I have that great composition I can work with, and it's made from life. And I know that that was my choice at that time. Of course, this is something which I consider good, inspiring composition, and I can later on, if I choose in any of the paintings, consider how to incorporate that in the final art. Now, dedicated sketchbook is this sketchbook, which is actually really just practice sketchbook, which has no particular value or meaning, and it's just nicely and conveniently bundled paper which can handle watercolor, and you can play in it, experiment with new pigments or new colors, do color swatches, and anything else you would like to. At the end, when this practice sketchbook is completed, it doesn't have any special value or any reason to be a baggage, because probably nobody else will see it and probably it will not stay around for too long. It will be replaced with another one. Now, the third tip I have is to help yourself to shift your mind from thinking that your sketchbook is too precious. And everything in life is relative. If you look at this one, you know that you can throw it away tomorrow and you will not feel sorry for it. However, when you go into buying really good sketchbooks, that your mind can play games with you. You can think, okay, this one was costing this much. I should be a little careful with it. Let's not put paintings I'm not too happy with in it, and I will wait for that special occasion so that I can create the best art in it. That is all relative. What I mean by that is you can go and buy 100% cotton sketchbook and keep it like this, nicely packed, and think about one day when I'm good enough, I will create in this commercially made but 100% cotton sketchbook. Or you can say, okay, I know it's 100% cotton, is capable of doing a little bit heavier washes or multiple layers or something which other sketchbooks I have would not be able to. So when I practice, I will do something which requires this many layers, and that's going to be suitable for that. However, precious is relative. And let me show you this. This is a queen of preciousness. Custom-made, handmade sketchbook with exceptionally high quality and really exceptional material in each of them. This sketchbook is specially made for me and by extremely skillful craft person. And at the back, it has a special handmade paper by Saint Armand, which is small shop of very customized paper in Montreal, in Quebec, in Canada. And it's made out of wood carpet from 1900. Inside, there is damask silk from 1870. It contains Fabriano 100% cotton paper, Holbein waterproof ink, and the other papers like this, which have hand-embossed dried flowers and plants, are incorporated into this special piece of paper, which is pamphlet inside the sketchbook. And it's special for me, Lela's Garden of Passion. Now, when you have sketchbook like that, you are not going to go and create your newest watercolor swatches in it. It is special, it's precious, and the art which you create inside does need to be special and precious. And for this sketchbook, I create art which it complies with what precious is. So as you can see here, it's not yet finished because I had to stop. I didn't have time to finish it, but I will come back to it. And the theme is that each spread will have its own color. This one is orange, this one is going to be flowers which are pink, and the next one something else. And all those flowers do grow in my garden. So the theme of the sketchbook, Lela's Garden of Passion and Creativity, completely complies with a memory inside that all those are flowers I actually grew and have in my garden. And now, if I put that sketchbook next to this cotton sketchbook, which is commercially made, what do you think? Which one is more precious? Of course, I would not have a second thought to create something here, while in this sketchbook, I will, and I will pay attention to it. So I hope this gives you an idea how to cope with the sketchbook which you have in your hands. If it is the one which is made out of wood paper, not so expensive, go for it. Create art. It is your art as of today. And 2 years later, 5 years later, 10 years later, you will have a memory that that is where you was at that time. And now here it is where you are at this point in time. And again, it's yours. You don't need to show it to anybody, or you can show it to all friends, neighbors, children, grandchildren, everybody else after you're gone, because it is a process and it is a learning. And there is a lot of joy in progressing and learning and having memory that once upon a time, your art was like this. And look at me now. It's kind of joy and pride that over the time you made tremendous progress. And you should pat yourself on the shoulder and say, you've done great. Look how far you reached in such a short time. So I hope you learned something. I hope you enjoyed this video. And I would like to know, what are your biggest fears when it comes to creating art in the sketchbooks? In old, in new ones, and what did you learn to overcome it? Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day and see you in the next video.